In this video, we complete step 37, Pivot Tables Part 4. So the last step, we aggregated all the values in each group into a single dictionary. So the final result, if we just look back here, was this dictionary mapping our group to the aggregated value. It's going to be a single value. We could also aggregate just by rows or just by columns. So this is a much simpler aggregation. You see here, if it would work identically if we used columns. So let's go ahead and handle those two cases first. And by that I mean we need to convert this result into a data frame. So we're at the point we need to return the result to our users. So we're going to create a data frame at this stage. So as we normally do to create data frames, we're going to begin by just creating an empty dictionary. And for the three cases, we're going to have different logic for each of the three pivot types. So let's go ahead and just assume that our user has given us columns. Okay, so if we have just the columns provided, that means what we want to produce is a data frame that has one row and all the unique values are in the columns. So let's just do that. So let's go through our agdict and create a new column for every entry in there. So the one thing that we're going to do here, if we say for column in agdict, what we're actually going to do is I want to sort the aggregation dictionary. So all the keys, I want to go through in a sorted order. So for instance, all the states will be sorted. All the if it's race, that will be sorted. If it's gender, that will be sorted. So all the unique values in the columns, column will be sorted. And this is what pandas does. So this will be easier to read the pivot table. So we're going to sort this. So we're going to say new data of call will equal the ag. Now we have to select that one again. So this is going to be a single value. So what we need to do here is convert it to a list and then pass it to the NumPy array function to make it an array. Okay, so all we're doing here is iterating through all the keys, the sorted keys of agdict. So just to give you a little bit more information on this, when you pass agdict into sorted will iterate through just the keys of agdict, and so we'll iterate through just the keys here, and then we'll extract just that NumPy array from agdict, or not. It's actually not a NumPy array. It's a single value. It's going to be a single number. We're going to wrap it inside of a list. Then we're going to convert it to a NumPy array and assign that to the new data dictionary. Okay, so we should be able to return our data frame correctly. And let's just see how this looks over here. So see if we have converted, and I'll just type it over here so we can see this. Okay, good. So that looks like it worked. So it turned it. Now we have a data frame. We have a formal data frame with the the column names are sorted, and underneath them is how they were aggregated. All right, now let's do the same thing, except this time we'll have pivot type equal to rows. So in this instance, we're just going to have two columns. So the first column will have the unique values of the rows, and the second one will have the aggregation. So let's go ahead and extract all of those. So we have agdict. So the keys contain all of our new values for the first column. So let's go ahead and extract those. And what we could do here, we'll just convert it into a list, and then one more time into an array. So yeah, you can't just convert the keys directly into a NumPy array. So we're going to turn it into a list first, and then turn it into an array. Okay, So we'll just say these are the row values. We can just call it rows. And the vals, we will do the same thing here. Let's copy and paste here, but we're just going to get the values of that. So we have rows and vals. So these are both going to be arrays. So we can directly create new data here. So we can say new data of the rows. And actually, we need to use a different word here. Just say row vals. So rows was our original column name. So we'll say we'll map this to row vals and new data of we'll use ag_func. So this column will be the aggregation function name and will equal to the vals. Okay, so the aggregation vals over here. Okay, so that looks good. Now let's go ahead and see if this returns something that looks good. So it's going to just pivot this a little bit. So we're going to have two columns. Yes, the first will be just fruit and the individual fruit, and so that looks good. Now, one thing we'll have to do, what you might want, we want to do to be consistent with pandas is I want to sort this data. So I think we should sort this data frame by the row vals. So what we could do here is we need to sort this. So instead of immediately assigning row vals to our dictionary, we will call argsort here and get the order of this. So we'll sort it from high to or low to high. So we're going to sort row vals first, and then we will use that order for both row vals and for their corresponding vals. So I think that should sort it so that we match what pandas does, and pandas sorts both the rows and the columns. So there we have the order. We're going to get that, and then we're simply going to use that to do the sorting. Okay, so that looks good. Let's see if it computes over here. And it was already sorted, so we can't, we had apples and oranges, so we'd have to add another fruit in. But we're just going to leave that test to PyTest when we get there in the next step, which will be the last one for pivot tables. So this completes pivot table video part 4, and we have one more portion, and that's to pivot the data when we have both rows and columns given to us. So we did the simple cases when just columns was given to us or just rows, but the next case will be when pivot type is all. All right, so that is it for part 4 of the pivot tables.